You know, there are two really big problems with traditional marketing plans. Actually, probably three. There it is. I knew I put it somewhere. Number one, they are overwhelming. Number two, because they are so overwhelming to put together, once you do put it together, you put it on a nice shelf, never to look at it again. And number three, they are impractical. In a day and age where technology changes on a dime, consumers change their preferences just as frequently, and as small business owners, we have access to real-time data that allows us to pivot as needed. Putting a traditional marketing plan together just feels janky. Can you believe they just revoked my super legit marketing professional card? But that's okay. I mean, this video is not for marketing professionals. It's for the small business owner out there who wants to stay on top of their marketing throughout the year without having to put together some complicated marketing plan that feels more like a college homework assignment. One that includes an executive summary, a SWOT analysis, marketing objectives and goals, a budget, and so much more. But what is the alternative? If, as a marketing professional with over 15 years of experience and a small business owner myself, if I am suggesting that there's a way for you to stay on top of your marketing without putting together a traditional marketing plan, what is the new approach? Let me show you. We're going to call this the SOB, Small Loan Business Simplified Marketing Plan. Big disclaimer here, if you're applying for a small business loan, the bank is going to want to see a marketing plan. More than likely a 5-year marketing plan. And if that's the case, then I highly recommend that you put together a traditional marketing plan because after all, they are holding the purse strings. What I'm going to be doing here on the dry erase board, I highly recommend that you take out a sheet of paper and do yourself, but I've made it even easier for you. I created a free download. So if you want this free download right here, go ahead and go to that link. The first thing we're going to do with our sheet of paper is to divide it into 3 parts. Now, yours is going to be a lot neater than mine because I created that nice printable download for you, so bear with me on my handwriting here. But this top portion up here is actually going to be the space that you dedicate to writing all of the marketing initiatives that you want to do for this year to promote your small business. Now, we are not talking timeline, we're not considering budget at this point. Use it as a brain dump. And if you need a little inspiration, go check out this video right here because I walk through all 19 marketing channels that are available to you as a small business owner. So if you feel like you do the same thing over and over again every single year, watch that video. It'll probably help you think a little more outside the box and maybe consider some marketing channels that you haven't tried and experimented with before. Now for this example, I've actually written down 6 marketing initiatives that I want to try for my small business this year. Postcards, social media marketing, email marketing, billboards, search engine marketing, and print ads. Now for each one of these that we have listed, we are going to ask ourselves 2 very specific questions. Question number 1, does this marketing initiative reach my target audience? You should know your target audience like the back of your hand, and you should be able to discern whether or not that would be a good idea to try to reach potential customers. For example, if I am a Medicare company, I'm looking to target people that are over the age of 60 because that is when they start thinking about Medicare plans. I could easily justify utilizing postcards to reach my target audience because they do in fact still check their mail and go through it. So that would be on par and would be a good idea. Now let's say that I was trying to reach 21-year-olds. Would I necessarily go for postcards? Probably not. A more effective marketing initiative or marketing channel to reach 21-year-olds would be TikTok ads or Instagram ads. So if you ask yourself question number 1 and it's not a good idea and it doesn't reach your target audience, I want you to mark through that marketing channel or marketing initiative. It shouldn't be a part of your SOB simplified marketing plan. Question number 2, is it within my price range? I know that things change, especially for a small business, and you might be thinking, well, Vivian, I can't afford to do billboards right now, but in a matter of 6 months, I'm hoping that I'll have enough profit, revenue, that I can invest in billboard marketing. If that's the case, if there's anything on here that as you stand today, with the revenue and the profit that you're making in your small business today, you cannot afford, I want you to go in and put an asterisk next to it. The really great part about this approach to your marketing is that it's not going to sit on a shelf and get dusty. All right. So you are actually going to be pulling this sheet of paper out, looking at it pretty frequently, probably redoing it maybe once a quarter or once every 6 months, depending on how often your small business changes and if you're having to pivot. This is why I say traditional marketing plans aren't really made to keep up with small businesses in 2025. They're not agile, right? You're not able to go in and modify it as needed when it's a 90-page document that you put a lot of time and effort into, and then you have to go in and modify one section of it, which is going to change like the next 20 pages. But I digress. So the next step, after you write down all of your marketing initiatives, we still are not attaching budgets or timelines to them, but we've just asked ourselves those 2 very important questions, is to then label these 2 sections. You're going to label them fixed and variable. For each one of the marketing initiatives that you have listed up here, you're going to identify them and place them into one of these 2 buckets, fixed or variable. Let me explain what fixed marketing initiative. A fixed marketing initiative is going to be anything that you are doing consistently month after month. Variable is going to be the stuff that you are not doing consistently month after month. However, you're going to interject throughout the year. The reason that this SOB approach works so well is because if, as a small business owner, you find that none of the marketing initiatives that you have planned for your small business in this year fall in that fixed category, you have a problem. It means that you are not doing enough marketing, or you are not utilizing and leveraging some of these opportunities, some of them being free, to your advantage to promote your small business. And I'm going to tell you right now, every single one of you out there should have at least email marketing in this fixed column. And if you just rolled your eyes and you're thinking, Vivian, email marketing is dead, it is not. And I'll make a future video about it. But email marketing is a fabulous way to develop a consistent relationship and to take somebody from potential customer to customer, and then from customer to reoccurring customer. All right, so all of you out there should be at least doing email marketing in this fixed column, and it's not cost prohibitive at this point in time. You can actually start for free in a lot of cases, so there is no excuse to not have at least one of these in that fixed column. Which, by the way, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so that you could get notified whenever I release any future videos. All right, so right now, let's take all of these and put them into their respective categories. All right, it just so happened that each one of these columns has 3 of the marketing initiatives, so it evened out nicely, but that's not always the case. So under fixed, we have email marketing, social media marketing, and search engine marketing. Under variable, postcards, billboards, and print ads. The download that I created for you right here actually has an extra column in here where you're going to go in and you're going to apply some timelines to this. All right, so that means email marketing, you decide the frequency of that. I'm going to do 1 every week. Social media marketing, I want to show up 4 times a week. And for search engine marketing, I want to advertise 4 weeks out of each month. All right. As you can tell, this works really great because now you're starting to get an idea of what your marketing calendar is going to look like. If I commit to doing one email every week, then I know I have to prioritize. This fixed stuff is the stuff that needs to be prioritized. I need to prioritize sitting down, writing it, and sending it out. If I want to show up and be active on social media, whether that be LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, but I want to show up 4 times a week, then I need to prioritize creating content, filming short form reels, videos to be able to post. Search engine marketing. This is Google ads, okay? If I want to, let's say, run Google ads throughout the entire month, then I need to prioritize having it in my budget to spend at least, I don't know, $150 every month to be able to do that. So you'll notice that it's starting to shape up, right? Our simplified marketing plan. Variable. Notice that in the download, I have a section that says month. What I mean by that is you need to go in here and start thinking about, think ahead, which months out of the year you want to utilize and leverage these variable marketing initiatives. Remember, they're not going to be the ones that you do consistently month after month, maybe because of the price, right? So postcards, it's a little expensive to send postcards out, especially if you are using a print company and you're narrowing, which we recommend that everybody do, and you narrow your mailing list, right? So you're able to target households of a certain income, age range, all of that good stuff. That costs money, narrowing down the targeted list and buying it. It costs money to send them out, postage, and then on top of it, printing the postcard. And depending on what size you get, you know, it could be a little more if you're using the bigger postcards as opposed to the smaller ones. So all of this is stuff that you start to think about ahead of time. But because of that reason, I'm not going to do postcards 12 months out of the year. I do perhaps want to plan to do 2 postcard runs, okay? And let's say that my slow months, I know historically, are June and July, so maybe I want to send my postcards out in May to get ahead of that, and so that people can trickle in starting in June. Digital billboards. Digital billboards are more cost effective than the old-fashioned vinyl billboards because you can easily change out the messaging, your creative, and a lot of times these billboard companies now will have packages that allow you to rotate on several different digital billboards for a really great price. But it's still a little pricey. So let's say that for billboards, I want to do it 3 months out of the year. And I want to do August, September, and October. Now, I don't have to do them back to back. Perhaps I split them up and just do 4 weeks at a time, 1 month at a time. And then you could do, let's say, January, June, and October. I don't know, I'm just picking months. But what I'm trying to drive home here is that you're essentially starting to put these timelines together, but in a very simplified way. So for billboards, I put September, October, and November. Print ads. Now, I want to be super targeted. Let's say that my boutique is in a very particular neighborhood, and I know that that neighborhood has a local magazine that gets distributed to all of the households in that neighborhood. Perhaps I want to take out a print ad so that my neighbors can see and know that I'm located right down the road from them. So print ads, little pricier, and I'm going to have to hire a graphic designer because I'm not good at putting any of these graphics or ads together. So let's say that I'm only going to do it for June and July. With this simplified approach to a marketing plan, you now have a guide. All right, you have an idea of timelines. You know what needs to be prioritized. You also kind of get an idea of about how much money you're going to be spending throughout the year. And the nice thing is, none of this is going to get dusty because it's something that you actively are going to be working off of. All right, so gone are the days of you putting together that traditional marketing plan and then never revisiting it again until 2 years later when you find it in your desk drawer. No, this is something that you're going to be pulling out hopefully on a monthly basis, maybe every other month, and definitely at least once a quarter. But this can all be modified and changed. If, let's say, you have a slower, summer than you expected and you don't have as much money to put towards your marketing, well, then you could come in here and push these dates back a little bit. But doing something like this allows you the flexibility to ebb and flow with your year, and it also forces you to continue to prioritize your marketing. All right, because we all know that if your marketing is not something that you are consistently checking in on, it's going to be the one thing that gets dropped. And then at the end of the year, you're going to be wondering why you didn't make as much money as you know you could have. And if you can't tell, even though I'm a professional marketer by trade, I'm also a small business owner, which means that I have a very different perspective and approach to marketing. And one of the things that I always like to remind small business owners is that we need to be having fun and experimenting with our marketing, because that's the only way we're truly going to be able to gauge and see if we get a good return on investment. If you want to see a real life example of one of the most recent ways that I experimented with my marketing that went a little haywire, go ahead and watch this next video right here. I actually paid $71.99 for 1 month to get that blue check mark on Instagram and Facebook through the Meta Verified program. In that video, I tell you exactly what happened, what they delivered on, what they didn't deliver on, and at the end of the day, whether or not I recommend that you as a small business owner invest in being Meta verified to increase your visibility on Instagram or Facebook.